Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror during pregnancy or even after having your baby and didn't recognize the person that you saw? Well, if you have, you know how emotionally draining and daunting it can be to be dissatisfied with your own body, especially at a time when you are expected to be at your happiest. The honest truth is that your body will change as you transition into motherhood. Hi guys, my name is Busie Sholo and I am a mom blogger, and I am passionate about helping the modern mom to find herself again. Today, we'll be talking about body image as it pertains to pregnancy, labor and delivery, and your postpartum body. Let's start with pregnancy. There's an expectation for pregnant women to be fit in our society today. And this increased pressure makes it hard for women to accept the changes that come with being pregnant. The changes are very drastic and they can happen so quickly that as a woman, you feel out of control, like you're having an out-of-body experience, making your own body feel foreign to you. Some women can struggle with wanting to be as energetic during pregnancy as they were prior. Some can be very conscious about showing too quickly and what that means about their weight gain and their own identity. And you can also just struggle with acceptance as you get broader, as you get stretch marks, as your body widens. It can be challenging. But there are things that can be done to develop a healthy body image, to accept your body during the transition, to accept your body during pregnancy. And the first thing that you can do is to redefine what it means for you to gain weight during pregnancy. I think if we begin to associate it with a healthy baby and a healthy pregnancy, that can be better for our body image, instead of looking at it as something that's negative or something that means that you are eating too much or gaining weight too quickly. So if we unlearn that unhealthy definition of weight gain and focus on it being associated or meaning that we are having a healthy pregnancy and the baby is growing well. And number 2, I think if the scale stresses you, then leave it. Stop weighing yourself if it actually causes so much pressure on you and makes you feel like, oh my goodness, I'm gaining too much weight. How am I going to be able to lose this weight after I give birth? Because it can get to that for you, stressing about how is it going to be like at the end of your pregnancy while you're still pregnant, and that takes away from the joy of enjoying your pregnancy. And I think number 3, which is for me the most important one that I learned very, very late in life, is that your body is allowed to change. The same way that your body is allowed to change as you enter puberty is the same way that your body is allowed to change when you're pregnant, to accommodate the new baby, to make space for the new baby. All the changes are necessary for the health and the growth of your baby. So I think we should normalize the weight gain. We should normalize having a positive body image around being pregnant and take the pressure off ourselves. The other aspect I want to touch on is about labor and delivery and how we view our bodies and all of that. And I want to share a personal story on this. On the day that I delivered my daughter, when I was in labor, I was vomiting nonstop. I had excessive diarrhea to a point that walking to the toilet by myself was impossible. I needed assistance, which means I had to be put on a wheelchair in order for me to be able to go to the toilet myself. And the nurse had actually said to me, you know, you look so weak. We're not even sure if you're going to be able to deliver the child on your own. And she said, okay, we'll put a drip on you and wait it out and see what happens. And already that time I felt shattered and I felt like I had failed as a woman. I was asking myself, why is my body unable to do what it's supposed to do? Whatever that means. But that was the question I was asking myself. And when it was time to give birth, I went into the delivery room in the wheelchair. I still couldn't walk by myself even after a couple of hours. And when they asked if I wanted somebody in. My aunt was with me there and my husband was there. And I said I wanted no one. I said, no, I don't want anyone to come into the birthing room because I didn't want anyone to come and see me fail. It was enough that I felt like a failure. It was enough that there were nurses and people assisting with the delivery, but I didn't want anyone else to come and just look at me fail and watch me fail. So as a result, now I believe that I took away from a moment that could have been a sentimental one from my family, a moment that we could have shared for my husband to be able to see her daughter being born and how it happens, just because of how I pictured myself, my image of myself at that time during delivery. And I think there's a lot of things around delivery that makes us as women feel like we're failing. Having vaginal births being praised and honored and admired as the right route, and having the stigma around C-sections, all of that. And I think the takeout for us should be around developing a positive body image regarding labor and delivery, is that everybody's experience is valid. For me, there isn't one right way for a child to come to this world. It's your experience, whatever it was, is valid. Your body is allowed to do whatever it needs to do in order to accommodate you and the baby during that process of delivery. So I think we need to embed it in our hearts and teach it to our kids, and just share it with other moms who are pregnant and expecting, that your body is allowed to do whatever it needs to do at the time to deliver your baby into the world. Next, I want to talk about the postpartum body, which I think is the most common one, which we normally call the mom body, and the self-image, the body image rather, around that part of our bodies. Because to be honest, for me, I didn't know that even after I had given birth, that I was still gonna look as if I had a baby in my tummy. I actually expected for my tummy to literally shrink immediately after I had given birth. But days after giving birth, I still looked like there was another baby left in my tummy, even though I was holding my daughter in my hand. So I think we should normalize how the body will look after pregnancy. We should accept that we won't bounce back. There's this issue of wanting to bounce back and go back to your pre-pregnancy body, and the truth is that it won't happen immediately. If you want to bounce back, if you want to lose the weight, for me it's okay. It depends on your image and how you want to look. But I don't want it to be driven by pressure from society, by the images that we see of perfect motherhood and bouncing back on social media. I want it to come from a place of, I'm ready, I've healed, I want to look a certain way, and I know that I can put in the work for me to look that way. Not because I have to, not because the mom next door has done it, not because so and so looks so thin, you can see a six-pack, but they're only like 2 weeks or 2 months postpartum. I want us to be actually able to normalize our feelings as well, because for too long I thought it was wrong for me to feel a specific way, for me to feel like I wasn't myself, because the truth is the changes are drastic. As I was saying, that you can feel like you're having an out-of-body experience, but that is normal. And I think another thing we can do is to surround ourselves with positive people. That's saying that find your tribe, people who've gone through it, who can be able to advise and tell us the realities of motherhood. And even going onto social media, just following people who are willing to share their stories about how their postpartum bodies looked. For me, I actually had an experience right after lockdown where I realized that I gained as much weight during lockdown as I did when I was pregnant. And for me, I immediately said to one of my friends, I can't believe that I did this to myself again, that I actually gained as much weight as I did now, as I did in pregnancy now. And my friend was actually saying to me, but don't you think that that means that you thought that gaining the weight during pregnancy was wrong? That even now, after so many years after my daughter is 6, that you still associate that with that pregnancy experience, which goes to show that it's a process. Healing your body and accepting your postpartum body. It's a work in progress. This also highlights the importance of having a support structure, because my friend was able to highlight to me something that I could have not recognized on my own. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'll see you again next Monday.